Morning, Amy.
You all ready? Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning, everyone. Morning. Is there any additions or deletions?
Not this time, Mr. Chair.
I need a motion.
So moved.
I got a motion, I need a second.
Second.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Approval of consent agenda. Is there anything on there would you like to have removed?
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented to us.
Second.
I got a motion, a second. This will be a roll call. Is there any more discussion? If not, Commissioner Zelinski.
Aye.
Commissioner Casper.
Aye.
Blaine.
Aye.
Lemire.
Aye.
Myself is aye. Motion carried. Moving right along. Adoption Month proclamation. Come on up.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the
Morning.
board.
Good morning.
So November is,
You want to state your name for the record?
I will, yep. So we're here for National Adoption Month. Katie Canetto with Health and Human Services. This is Kim Deserk, one of our adoption workers. And then obviously,
Nathan Bertram, Health and Human Services Director.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
very good. So Kim's gonna read the proclamation for us this morning.
Whereas there are 851 Minnesota children in need of permanent and loving homes that are under the guardianship of the state of Minnesota, 5 of these children that need permanency by adoption are Morrison County children, and whereas almost all of these children have special needs because of physical, mental, or emotional disabilities, or because they must be placed as a sibling group, and whereas these children need extra patience and support to help them overcome previous trauma, children benefit from the connections to their family and their community supports. And whereas children that age out of foster care are more likely to become homeless, incarcerated, or need the support of welfare benefits. Whereas in 2024, there will be 4 Morrison County children adopted by families. These families are able and willing to adopt children who have special needs, willing to attend special services and training in order to meet the needs of children. And whereas the children waiting for adoption, for adoptive parents, as well as children and families that have completed adoptions, require and deserve community and public agency support. And now therefore be it resolved that November is hereby declared Adoption Awareness Month in Morrison County.
Gentlemen, I need a motion.
Make a motion to approve, Mr.
I
Chair.
have a motion, I need a second. Any more discussion? I'll start off with this. Again, this is something that it's a need in every county, in the state too, is, again, the work that is done here at the county for adoptions and to put, children that need a family. That's bottom line, they want to have a family, and these adoptions such as yourself, you create that for them, so thank you very much.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Commissioner Zelinski.
Kim, I have to be honest with you, that 851 sounds shocking to me. This is just for Morrison County?
No,
This
for
is
the
for the
state.
state? This is for everyone? Out of the state, do we have 20? Do we have 10? Do we have 5?
I think it's.
We had 4 completed adoptions this year, and we have, I think, 5 that are currently state boards that
And-
still need adoption.
And when we talk about an adoption is not just, I'm going to adopt this child, end of discussion. There's a whole process to go through this, correct?
Absolutely.
And I wonder if you can just kind of just highlight just a little teeny tiny bit of process, start to finish, quickly. And, in a nutshell.
Start to finish, I guess on the foster parent side, they have to become licensed, and that could take from 6 months to a year, depending on how fast people do their paperwork and all that stuff. And then, once they're licensed and the child is settled in, we can start the paperwork right away, as long as they're a state ward, but sometimes the state can take up to 3 months to approve it. So a lot of paperwork and waiting and making sure that the child's doing well and the family is too.
So at the end of the day, there's a lot of cross-checking, a lot of i's that are dotted and a lot of t's that are crossed when it comes time for someone to actually complete a full-blown adoption.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you very much for what you do.
If there's nothing else, I have a.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, Commissioner Gasper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to say thank you. You know, we have 3 adopted children ourselves, so adoption's very near and dear to my heart. It's a blessing that you guys are there because it's got to be a sick feeling to think somehow no one wants me. So thank you for giving these folks hope. God bless your efforts.
All right, I have a motion and a second. If there's any more discussion, if not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Is this a photo op time?
I sure hope so,
I
Mr.
think so, absolutely. Should be.
Is it this one?
Oh, yeah, he's got it covered.
Mike's getting worried, we haven't got a picture in a while. Kind of like we run around here.
Thank you, Kim, for your work. Ladies, come right in the center here.
Did somebody get some hold of the plaque?
And this isn't
Nate, get over here.
mailed in, so just hold the.
I'll try chipping out with that. There you go.
Sorry,
Got an action shot.
sorry, forgot they were on.
Got it.
All right.
You're more.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies, have a good day.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Tab.
Didn't mean to do that.
Moving along, Health and Human Services.
Nathan Bertram, Health and Human Services Director. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Nate. I am here to continue the discussion we started last week regarding our dental position. And I'm gonna jump us back to kind of recap some of where we're at and then try to move us forward to the 2 options kind of before us today. So the position started in 2020 as really looking at a way to improve dental health in Morrison County, looking at coordinating that service, community education, which also included jail and service allocation. So during the course of the 4 years, we've had revenue in the amount of $90,547. So over those 4 years, that's how much we've accumulated just off of that work on top of the employees' costs. This summer, we got notice that the dental coordinator contract through Blue Cross Blue Shield would end December 31st, 2024. We started putting a plan together on how to phase that out and not budget it for 2025. And so with that, there was 9 months of funds from the 90,000 Blue Cross remaining dollars to phase that position out as we look for another position somewhere within the county to move that position to, or that person, which ultimately was going to result in Health and Human Services reducing 1 FTE for 2025. Then about a month ago, got notice from Blue Cross Blue Shield that they said they had $75,000 to put forward to move this position forward. With that offer, they said they've been able to prove that in comparative regions and counties without this position have less dental access. If we crunch the numbers for Morrison County, we end up with roughly 600 more individuals within Morrison County accessing dental services. We've talked to a lot more than that. Likely there's more, but 600 was the number we can confirm. And so really where we're at today is do we want to accept dollars from Blue Cross Blue Shield to continue dental work and improving that access and health component for residents of Morrison County, or are we at a position that we just want to end this service in Morrison County and not accept the dollars? And if we choose to end it, we would then look to transition that position out and it would cease to exist. We'd reduce our FTE in 2025. And if we choose to accept the funding, then we would look to continue that position as is.
Gentlemen, any questions, concerns?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
just to maybe double tap on a couple of things Nate said. The $90,000 he mentioned was money that is still remaining that wasn't spent on this program and service for the region. So two pieces. One, it's a regionally supported position to support the 5 counties of Cass, Crow Wing, Wadena, Todd, and Morrison. And the second is this 90,000 is still there, money that we have received from Blue Cross Blue Shield that could help offset the cost of that in 2025 and could be applied toward it if the board wants to continue with that position for 2025.
Thanks, Matt. Gentlemen, anything?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Zelinski.
I'm no mathematician. I've never set out to be one, and it's obvious I'm not one. I have a calculator. We have $90,000 sitting in the bank that came from Blue Cross, sitting in a checkbook somewhere that came from Blue Cross. We currently have that right now. We have $75,000 that could be coming, if we said yes, will be coming to Morrison County. That's correct? Simple math, although I did use a calculator, those two figures together is $165,000. Can we run this program for 1 year, from January 1st, 2025 till December 31st, 2025 on $165,000?
Yes.
This is not Morrison County taxpayer money. This is not levy money.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen? Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question, this is a pretty poignant question, Nate, but do you have a recommendation from what you've seen taking place over these last years?
You know, I think when you look at Health and Human Services perspective, and probably more so on the public health side, you know, oral health is a big part of health. It links to your overall physical health as well as mental health. And so having the ability to have someone who's focusing on connecting some of those dots between recipients, dental providers, and clinics, just because we know that there isn't enough dental providers in rural Minnesota, I think overall, the health impact is a benefit for Morrison County and helps us be a healthier county. So yes, I mean, it's a benefit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Blaine.
Mr. Chair, we've had a lengthy discussion about this. We've had the opportunities to ask questions even in this past week. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we authorize Nate to proceed with offering this program, this regional dental coordinator position for the year 2025.
Gentlemen, I got a
Second.
motion, I need a second.
I would like to
I got-
add a little bit to it,
Certainly,
I got a second from
certainly.
Commissioner LeMay.
using the 90,000 that we have in, from Blue Cross Blue Shield to cover the excess over the 75, if I may. Is that okay with you?
That is, I'm certainly open to that, and
think that's-
Commissioner Lemire, I'll just say that there's been a lot of transactions, I'll say, or correspondence between Blue Cross Blue Shield and Morrison County over the last month. If for example, Blue Cross Blue Shield would decide they would want to fully fund this, we would not have to use that funds, you know, we can go that route. But if there is a hole that's created by the 75,000 that's offered by Blue Cross Blue Shield, yes, we will use part of the 90,000, 93,000 that we have.
All right, my question is, what was the total amount we got from Blue Cross Blue Shield in 2020, do you remember?
So, again, this is for my time, so
Right, yeah.
reviewing kind of some of the historical stuff, what it looks like, it was initially a 3-year pilot type deal at 100,000 a year.
Okay.
So it would have been that 300,000, and then, this year was an additional 100,000 from that. So there was 400,000 initially available in that 4-year period.
Commissioner Lemire?
And I'm under the assumption that it's still gonna be 75% for the Region 5 community and then 25%, so 30 hours and 10 hours for Morrison County.
That is my intentions.
Mr. Chair,
Go
just to
ahead.
clarify that, but if you were using that money from Blue Cross Blue Shield that was for regional support, I mean, just to come back, I think that then would be a regional program, 100% of it.
Yes.
I just to ask.
But that money, I don't, if,
But if the desire is 25/75, then, I mean, we can do that too. I just want to make sure it's clear.
well, and my only reasoning for this is we were willing to contribute 5,000 and none of the other communities were willing to contribute 5,000. So that's my only reason, but
And to
But if
clarify-
the board feels differently that it could be regional, and maybe it'll be easier if it is regional and leave it regional, I'm fine with that too.
To clarify, going backwards a little bit here, it was 5,000 for each county, but now Blue Cross wanted us to pick up to 25,000 because the other counties would not
That's right.
throw in.
Yeah.
Am I right on that?
Somewhat, yeah.
I mean, whether.
If I may.
Sure, go
I
ahead.
mean, Blue Cross Blue Shield is not asking Morrison County to pick up this other 25,000 to cover the region.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear, they were okay with us moving forward on a 3/4 time basis,
Right.
need be.
So, great point, Nate. So this is for a full-time, or is this gonna be for a 3/4 position?
The intention was to use these $90,000 of dollars we've gained in revenue from the previous 4 years to make this a full position.
Okay, so then we have I just wanna make sure the
That's fine,
motion
that's how you want
is
it.
okay
I
with
just thought
that
it'd
too,
be easier.
because we were talking 3/4 last week, now we're talking full-time using that funds. Commissioner Gasper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Then a question is, so late in '25, this would be reassessed, is that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Zelinski.
Mr. Chair, thank you. That being said, the motion is for this program to last from January 1st, 2025, till December 31st, 2025. I just need to make sure that my mind is clear on that. So on December 31st, 2025, unless there's this windfall that comes in from someone, this person that we're talking about, this body, will no longer be employed. That's not to say that this person can't be employed with Morrison County if this person applies for a job.
The position.
The position, yeah, thank you. The position no longer exists unless, again, this windfall, whatever would come into play. I just wanted to make that, so I have that clear in my head.
Yes, if the funding is not there, we'd again be probably having some discussions come fall
And
on
if I
plan.
may, right now, we had 90,000, whatever, and we're getting 75. What happens by the end of next year if there's 50,000 and the position is eliminated? Where does that money go? Does it go back to Blue Cross Blue Shield? Do we,
I did review that document. There's nothing indicating in that document that we would return those dollars or have to return those
because
dollars.
we're not gonna use all that money up for one position for 2025. So
No.
there will be additional money there, I'm assuming, so. Commissioner Lemire, or Commissioner Blaine, do you have something?
But, well, Mr. Chair, I'm supportive, and my motive with this was to have this be a full-time position, and I feel it's only right and just that it would be a full-time position and not a 3/4 position if we're utilizing funds. Some of those $90,000 funds were funds that were given to us by Blue Cross Blue Shield to facilitate this position for the 5 counties. I feel it's only right that if we're going to use some of that for this position.
Put that in the motion, a full-time regional dental coordinator,
Funded by Blue Cross
funded
Blue
by Blue
Shield.
Cross Blue Shield.
And then we're gonna have our assistant administrator read that motion off.
She's
Got a
got
lot
her.
of stuff that we got, just to clarify everything if you want. So this all, again, so we'll probably be notified maybe next year, October, same
Same
thing.
time as this year.
And they'll say, okay, this is, we'll give you 50,000, or we'll give you 5 million, whatever the dollars are. Okay, so, and then Commissioner Blaine and Commissioner Lemire clarified their motion in second. So,
It'll be easier this way.
so
It's not
I'm just
easier
looking
for
at the
the
motion
transition
being,
on
it's a
it.
full-time
Yeah.
position. We're using last year's, or last 3 years of Blue Cross's to fund the additional that we maybe fall short of the 75,000. Am I correct on that?
Pardon me?
So we're gonna be using the
Yes,
the-
and part of the 90.
a part of the 90 that Blue Cross gave us, that was not, from anybody, and then the additional of 75,000, so that's part of the motion. So we'll use all Blue Cross money to fund a full-time position for 2025.
Correct.
Mr. Chair, I got the motion to be considered to approve a 2025 full-time regional dental coordinator funded by Blue Cross Blue Shield, with Morrison County as the employer.
Thank you, Mr. LeBlanc.
Are we good with that? All right, any more discussion? Great discussion.
I just had one, Mr. Chair, and hopefully this doesn't do anything. The question might come up, why is there $90,000 left? And maybe folks would ask that. This had to do with when Morrison County entered into this program at Blue Cross Blue Shield, there was a gap from the time when we entered into it to hiring the employee, and the forecasted cost of it was less than was originally thought. So that's how it came about, and this is where it settled in after 4-year time.
Thank you for clarifying that, Mr. LeBlanc. I think that's important.
Anything else, gentlemen? All right, I have a motion, a second. This is gonna be a roll call vote. Commissioner Casper,
Aye.
Jelinski,
Aye.
Lemire.
Aye.
Blaine.
Aye.
Myself is an aye. Motion carried. Great information, good discussion. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you, Nathan.
Enjoy your day.
Amy, Land Services.
Good morning, Miss Amy.
I wonder if she's the Morrison County record. I wonder if she's the Morrison County record. Is that possible?
What do you have for us this morning?
Well, first, I'm Amy Kowalczyk,
All right.
and I'm the Land Services Director for Morrison County. I've got two things for you today.
Okay.
The first one is to consider the interim use permit request from the Muellers for a limited rural business, specifically an event venue. This was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission at their last meeting with 2 conditions. And those conditions were the property owner shall maintain a current septic system certificate of compliance. And the second condition is the interim use permit shall terminate when Adam and Caitlin Mueller no longer own the property.
Gentlemen, I'll need a motion and a second with the 2 conditions.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I have a motion.
Second.
And that's with the 2 conditions. Any more discussion? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank you. The last item I have is to consider the preliminary plat from Dwayne and Rose Hoffman, called Dwayne and Rose Hoffman Estates. This is located in Section 6 of Richardson Township. This also was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission. I'll just remind you, this is a preliminary plat, so this is really asking for your go-ahead to move forward to the final platting process where there'd be a little bit more detail coming out.
Gentlemen, I'll ask for a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion to accept.
All right.
Second.
All right, a motion and second. I got, the resolution, is that just part of this here? Is that what it's gonna be?
That is what you pass for a plat, yes.
Okay, so I don't think we need to, if everybody knows, reads the resolution, we don't need to
Mr.
have.
Chair.
Go ahead.
Was there anyone that spoke for or against this property?
No, we had several questions regarding the plat, but no comment, official comment, but questions just about how many sites. The biggest question was whether there was lake access provided with this plat, which there is not. So otherwise, no, there wasn't any comment on the record.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, concerns? Commissioner Zelinski?
Mr. Chair, I hate to say it's a little unlike me, but I have my packet in my truck, so I'm kind of going off memory. I was there for the meeting, and I have to tell you that what I saw personally, and I am no architect. Is it an architect that does that, or is it a planner, or whoever does that's mapping? Pretty specific. Extremely well done, I thought. My absolute only question through the whole thing, and this is just me, is why wouldn't you tar the road? And I get what the township says, well, then the other people would say whatever. That's immaterial to me. Why wouldn't you tar the road? If I was looking at, if just personally, if I was looking at this setup and if I was going to buy one of these plots, the very first thing in my mind would be, I'm gonna build a brand-new place here, and I'm not even gonna get a tar road, probably ever? This is probably the opportunity, in my way of looking at it, to have that road tarred, and you know what? Not my problem what anybody else is thinking, is how I would come at it. But that's just me. I thought it was extremely well done. I thought that the meeting was very well handled very well. Yes, those that had questions have questions. Kind of like me, I've got a question right now, but I thought that, and I still have the map in my truck, just so we're all on the same page. That was very, very well done. Just me. Thank you. Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Mr. Chair? I think the one thing that came out of the meeting, though, is there is an expectation that the applicant really flesh a lot of the details out within those covenants. And so that, I think, is going to be really important at the final plat, because that really puts the meat on the bones, I guess, as far as really how this subdivision is going to look and what is going to be allowed. So I think that's I think really what the planning commission is waiting for as well. I think technically, the technical components of the plat are fine. Now it's really getting into the brass tacks of what this is going to look like.
Commissioner Blaine.
Thank you, Commissioner Winchard. Amy, the question that I have, and this goes back, I think maybe it was, as I recall, maybe the last application to look at platting some land in the county that came before the board there. So understanding that this is the preliminary, this would be the preliminary plat. When I think back, one of the concerns that was discussed in that previous plat application was being able to meet the need for water and sewer. Is that part of those details that you say will get fleshed out between the preliminary and the final plat?
Mr. Chair, in this case, I would say no, that's already been fleshed out, because if you look at the plat drawing, a septic designer has already been out and has done the soil boring work on each and every one of those sites.
Okay.
And we have done those soil verifications with them, so we know that each one of those sites has a building envelope. So what that means is an area on the property that meets all setbacks. And then the septic areas have been identified on each property. So that has been answered. The location of the well and ability to drill, that might be a question that the applicant can answer as far as what evaluation has been done by a well driller out there for availability of potable water. But the septic question has been answered.
Okay, that's, and so I like you, will wait to see where the rest of the meat lands on the bones here in that process between the preliminary and the final plat on that too.
And Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Also, during this time then, we will be entering into a developer's agreement with the applicant, and that is an agreement that is done between the county and the applicant regarding the construction of the road, the standard to which the road is going to be built. Public Works will have a big role in that, and so, and then there is a bond amount that does need to be put up to ensure that those roads do get built and are finished.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Zelinski.
I just need to piggyback off Commissioner Blaine and the septic. Unless I skipped over something, at the meeting, to me, it was extremely crystal clear, not the well. That's another subject, and thank you for that. But that there are 2 sites on each one of these lots or plots or pieces of
Lots.
property. 2 sites on each piece of property that would be able to maintain a septic.
Correct.
Most people have a septic, and they have a septic for years and years and years and years and years, and things happen, and maybe you need a new septic.
Yes.
There would be a new
There would be a secondary site.
secondary
Yes.
site on each absolute plot.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have, thank you. Huge, absolutely.
Anything else? If not, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
That was like in stereo. That was really good.
Should have recorded that.
Yes. All right. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Amy, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, you guys.
Administrators report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next item on the agenda is for the board to move into a closed session to discuss ongoing litigation matters. Our attorney that's on retainer for those matters is not available until 10:30. That is as soon as he could take this. I can, at least as of yesterday, I can try to reach out to him, but at this point, Mr. Chair, to your wishes, but we could recess until 10:30.
Well, we can do committee reports.
Certainly can.
We can do that. So what's the dates?
It is November 10th through November 23rd.
10th through the 23rd. Commissioner Jelinski, I know you're ready and willing to start.
I'm absolutely, Mr. Chair, I am ready.
I don't know what we're gonna do next year.
On the 11th, ladies and gentlemen, for all of our calendars, is Veterans Day, and the Government Center is closed. On Tuesday, the 12th, at 7:45 or thereabouts, I'm going to be at the food shelf along with the National Wild Turkey Federation. Twice a year, the Turkey Federation delivers turkeys to the food shelf, once at Thanksgiving and once around Christmas time, and I'll be present for the one here pre-Thanksgiving. 8:30 that same morning on the 12th, we've got a planning meeting, and following our planning meeting, we're going to have a budget meeting. And then later on in the evening, about 6:00 PM, we've got a PC BOA meeting. Also, I've got a asterisk here that's voter canvassing for Commissioner Blaine and for Commissioner Casper on that day. On the 13th at 8:30 in the morning, there's a department head meeting. On Thursday, the 14th at 10:00 in the morning, I have a Next Gen 911 committee meeting. That's going to be a virtual meeting. On the Saturday, the 16th, as I have done for the last X number of years, I'll be participating in the city of Bloomington, Minnesota, at an event called Partners in Policy Making. Pretty much the all afternoon, and I get to talk with a whole bunch of people there, so it's a good time. On the 19th, at 9:00 in the morning, we've got a county board meeting, and that meeting will be right here in the boardroom. On the 20th at 3:30, yep, scratch that, please. On the 20th at 5:00, I've got a Hands of Hope meeting, and that's going to be a virtual meeting. On the 21st at 10:00 in the morning, I have a Central Minnesota Emergency Services Board Owners and Operators meeting, and that is virtual. And as of this time, Mr. Chair, that is all I have.
All right, Commissioner Casper.
Okay, Mr. Chair. I have, the first one, well, I guess Jeff already mentioned that canvassing board on Tuesday, the 12th, at 11:30 for Greg and myself. And then the 14th, Camp Ripley Veterans Trail meeting at 6:30 in the evening at Little Falls City Hall. And then jumping over to Tuesday, the 19th, I have at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Great River Regional Library meeting in St. Cloud. And also, on the 20th, I believe, Greg, and you can set me straight if this has changed, we have a Morrison Todd Wadena County Health Board meeting up at Staples. Is that correct, Greg?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. And then the last one I have is just Thursday, the 21st, at 12 o'clock, Airport Commission out at the airport.
All right, thank you for that. Commissioner Blaine?
The only thing I can add is the 21st, the Egg Society would be scheduled to meet at 7 PM. That would be all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Lemire? Thank you, Craig.
All I got is, Public Health Advisory Meeting on the 20th, and my dog's birthday on the 21st. Birthday.
What kind of dog?
Oh, that's important.
What kind of birthday party are we planning for that dog?
I don't know.
Lots of kibble, baby.
All right, mine, I will have no TCC for the month of
Why ain't
November.
this working?
And then I got soil and water on Friday, the 22nd at 8 o'clock. And that covers me. All right, anything else, gentlemen? So then we'll not adjourn, we'll just have to kind of just,
Wait and see if
We don't have a motion to
if we can
recess.
hook up, or what?
well,
He's
he's
not here.
trying right now
10:30
to
he
hook
was
up. So
scheduled
it's
for.
10:30 he's scheduled for.
So Matt's gonna try contacting him, see if we can get it here earlier.
Or we can adjourn and then come back, I guess. We
Yeah,
can do that too.
Or recess.
Or recess, we can recess, I think, can we not? Do we need a motion to recess?
No, you do not need a motion to recess, but, and that would be the next piece would be a recess not to adjourn, and otherwise it would close us out, so.
And then just for people out in TV land, so this will might be an hour of recess that we have here, so.
But it's a closed meeting no matter
And
what.
when we do come back, it won't be open to the public.
Right.
Exactly.
So they wanna sit there and look at the screen and
Yep.
watch us, you know.
Yep.
All right, I need a motion to recess until,
I'll
We
make
don't-
it.
We don't need a motion to recess.
No.
You may call.
No,
a
we don't. You
recess.
can just call the recess.
all right, then we're gonna recess until further notice, which would be probably 10:30. Thank you.